Thank you. How many here for the first time ever to a Monsterpalooza? Ever? Congratulations. Great. Hope you'll be with us in April in Pasadena for the big Monsterpalooza. And then if you look at your programs, the dates are already set for next year's Son of Monsterpalooza back here, same weekend. So great. I hope you'll come back. Hope you'll have a great time today. If you haven't been over to the main hall yet, you have so much in store for you to see. But thank you for joining us here first for the Hellfest preview with our panel. I'm going to turn it over now to our MC, Mr. Tony Timpone.
You're indispensable as always, and thanks everyone for coming down here on Sunday morning. I know it's tough dragging ourselves out of bed after a night of partying at Monsterpalooza, but we're glad to see everyone here. Opening September 28th from CBS Films. It's a new horror franchise in the making. It's called Hellfest. We're going to show you a little preview first and then bring up our very special guest.
Hey, Son of Monsterpalooza fans. Hope you're having a great time. I'm Taylor-Klaus, and I play Taylor in the new movie Hellfest.
I'm Christian James, and I play Quinn.
I'm Amy Forsyth, and I play Natalie. We're a group of friends that are excited to visit the Hellfest theme park until we realize
It's fun going in, but it's hell getting out. Make sure you catch Hellfest in theaters September 28th.
VIP passes to Hellfest. What is that? It's Traveling Horror Night. Has horror mazes in it. You would totally lose it in there.
It's gonna be fun, man.
Why are we signing a waiver?
Well, because the liability is, hey bitch. A couple years ago, some girl got totally gutted.
Killer left her body in the park for 3 days. They thought she was a freaking prop.
Some people are just evil.
They walk among us.
You think you're scared of me? No. Move.
Look, the more scared you seem, the more they're gonna come after you. You have to just play it cool.
Help me! Please help me! Just do it. That was insane, right? Yeah, real. That same guy's been following us the entire night.
You take your job too seriously.
This really isn't funny, dude. Help me! Help me!
You came here to be scared, right? I can't arrest people for doing their job. Welcome to Hellfest.
Hello? Hey, can you let me out of here?
All right, looks pretty amazing. What do you think? Okay, our first guest is known as a brilliant editor. He's cut some of the most popular horror films of the last few years, including a little movie called Get Out. He also edited Happy Death Day. He directed Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. This is his latest directorial effort. Let's have a big Monsterpalooza welcome for Gregory Plotkin. And we'll say his name 3 times because he's been in so many killer franchises: Candyman, Final Destination. Plus, we know him from TV, Star Trek: The Next Generation, tons more. Let's give it up for Tony Todd, Tony Todd, Tony Todd.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Halloween season.
You guys got a franchise in the making here. That is one hot trailer you got going there, Gregory and Tony. So give us a little more background on Hellfest, how this movie came together, what inspired you to come on board to direct this movie.
A couple things. One, I love the Horror Nights, the Fright Fest, all around the country. Had the opportunity before I was involved with the film to go to so many of them. Go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal every year, Magic Mountain, Not Scary Farm. And I grew up loving slasher films. Halloween's one of my favorite films, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and so forth. So when this came on my radar, I jumped. 2 things I absolutely love. I'm born the day before Halloween. I'm a Halloween baby. My life was all Halloween. Every birthday party was Halloween. So I just love the time of year, and it just felt like such a right subject to make a film about.
Great. And Tony, you're the proprietor of the movie. Could you give us insight into your character?
Well, my name is Stanley Duberville, and I run like a series of haunted attractions all across America, hopefully the world one day. And this is successful. I think they'll be popping up in different cities. But I just want to congratulate Greg for your extraordinary editing work on Get Out and making it one of the most popular horror films ever. That's no small accomplishment. And I got to say, when I showed up on set, we shot this film in Atlanta, an actual water park that they had been able to commandeer and use exclusively for our purposes. I've never been greeted more enthusiastically by a director on a set. I got word from the first AD, the director's waiting to meet you, go down. We're in the middle of this empty swimming tank.
A wave pool.
A wave pool. And the guy wants to tell me every sequence that we're going to shoot today and how beautiful it was and how many cameras are going to be operating, because we have toys. We have a budget to get toys. So thank you for that, man.
I have a legend that I'm working with.
Well, not everybody does that. And when directors and actors connect, then it feeds into the work, into the fabric of the work. So, and that's the key to good, successful franchises, by the way, I think.
I love the location. The location seems so authentic, and we have a lot of Universal Horror Nights fans here. We always do big presentations on Universal Horror Nights at Monsterpalooza in April. Talk about putting that component of the movie together and being so authentic.
Well, it was so important to make it authentic. We had a fairly tight schedule, but I wanted to scope, because all these horror nights I go to, they feel big. And the great thing is, I did research. I went to the Netherworld in Atlanta, which is one of the biggest ones in the country. I went to great ones in New Orleans, obviously all the ones out here in Los Angeles, and they all have a script. There's so much dedication put into them, and I wanted to honor that, because I love these horror nights. They're not haphazard. Every single detail is thought out. So it was important to me to get the scope, and I also felt like so many horror films are, and again, there's a lot of darkness in this film, but so many horror films are just dark and moody and so forth. But these horror nights have such great pizzazz, such great lights, such great presentation, that I wanted to show that in the film as well, and show that you can have scares in the light. You can have scares amongst all these great, brilliant colors and so forth. So
they have a cast of dedicated performers who may never be able to act in anything else, but they're so committed to that scare that they're giving the fans to show up.
Absolutely.
And we have a tie-in with Magic Mountain too.
That's right.
We have a Hellfest maze throughout the Halloween season.
Throughout the Halloween season, and we shot at the Six Flags water park in Marietta, Georgia. So we have a great partnership with them, and like Tony said, these performers are the unsung heroes of the Fright Nights. They make or break it, and for me, they've always made it. And we just sort of paying homage to that.
Tell us about the killer in the movie. He seems like a future Michael Myers. I love the mask. I love the way he moves. Great ambiance. Tell us about this new potential horror icon.
His name is The Other. We called him The Other. And the scariest thing to me is that when I was developing the film, there's especially with the internet, there's so much negativity behind a keyboard, if you will. People can say things and do things that they would never say in public. You would look, they would say something awful on a message board that they would never say to you to your face. And I thought that's what this guy does at this park. He puts the mask on, he becomes that other, he becomes anonymous. And he's able to sort of hide behind that screen, if you will. And that sort of influenced every movement that he made and how the other sort of acted in the film. And we were super fortunate to have a guy named Tony Gardner create the mask, and Tony created the Scream mask.
How many Tony Gardner fans out there?
That's one of the two amazing Tonys on this film. And so he helped create the mask, and he and I worked really closely on making it. And I grew up loving Halloween and Friday the 13th and all these movies that had such iconic masks, and I hope that we can join that pantheon.
Tony, you've been part of two very successful horror franchises, Candyman, Final Destination. What was it about Gregory's movie that said, hey, this could be something special here? What is it about the screenplay and how he pitched the character to you that made you want to get on board?
Well, Atlanta has become the new Hollywood. In the last year, I think I've shot 5 projects down there, and I can't get away from it. So when this happened, I was in my 3rd project. We have an upcoming miniseries on MTV coming out very soon. It's the 3rd season of Scream. So I just finished that. I was already into horror mode and get called. And besides Gregory, we have Gale Anne Hurd, who's the executive producer. So between those two pedigrees, I mean, what are you going to do? Say no? I mean, I negotiated a little bit, but they didn't go for it. So,
By the way, back
but I'm going to get it on the back end and in the future deals, trust me.
behind the scenes, I'm begging. And yes, all sequels, all back end, everything. I was begging for Tony.
Yeah, let's talk about the Gale Anne Hurd connection. Of course, she's been up behind Aliens, The Walking Dead, Tremors, you name it. Terminator. What made her want to get involved with your movie, this movie?
She had the project for years, and they were trying to find the right sort of voice, if you will. And I happened to be developing another project with them. I heard that there was an opening on this. Again, I love the concept and so forth. So it's the day that I heard about it, I called her. I called her assistant. I called everyone at the company, and I begged. And walking into a room with Gale is pretty amazing. I walk into her office and there's, the Terminator head, and there's the xenomorph statue, and there's from the abyss, there's the water creature, etc. And every story you tell, she's got a better story. And every experience you talk about, she knows how to fix it, to make it better, and so forth. She is amazing, an absolutely amazing person. So she had it. I sort of pinch myself every day that I got a chance to work with her, and she's been invaluable to the process.
There's some people that just emanate power from their history of working in cinema, and she's one of those. She's diminutive, but just so full of life. And a key to her personality, like when we did looping and stuff, you called her, she showed up during the last 20 minutes of our session because we hadn't had a chance to meet when we were on set. I mean, so, sometimes there's room for humanity in filmmakers and in Hollywood in particular.
She took care of everybody, and we had a lot of the Walking Dead crew work on the film. She's huge down there. She wants to take care of everybody. Huge.
As busy as she is with the Walking Dead franchise, she's got a lot of faith in your movie because she's been tweeting about this panel for the last few weeks.
She's excited. She is having her in our corner. It just means the world to me. So she's amazing.
Tell us about some of the young stars you have on board. Very attractive cast.
We have a great cast. We are very lucky. We have Amy Forsyth plays NATALIE, one of our 3 female leads. It was very important for me to have strong female characters. Again, with the Gale connection with Aliens, I grew up loving Ripley. Ripley was always such a role model for me in terms of strong characters. Even Laurie Strode, obviously, in Halloween and so forth. But we have Amy Forsyth, Rain Edwards, who plays Brooke, and Bex Taylor-Klaus, who also is on screen, as one of our 3 leads. And they're just great. We did a lot of casting, a lot of mixing and matching, and a lot of chemistry reads. And when the 3 girls got together, they were best friends. They all bonded. They came in to read. They all had their inside jokes and so forth. And it was one of those things where I think you just know. I just sat back, crossed my arms, and started laughing, going, they're best friends. And the guys are the same. The guys are amazing. They're all young. Christian, James, who's one of our actors, and Robbie Attal, they had never done a feature before. Matt Mercurio has got some experience, but Christian and Robbie, you wouldn't know. They all just really got along well. And again, when you have someone like Gale leading the ship, and obviously I've had some experience, they made my life infinitely easier. We were all super excited to be working with Tony. When you know that people like that are dedicated to the film and that are willing to be involved, again, it all just sort of came together.
Are we talking hard R, PG-13?
It's a slasher film. What do you think?
We're talking R here.
We're talking R.
I've heard, so many like a lot of stuff Blumhouse is doing, PG-13 and some of the other studio movies. So the fans know what they like and they want what they want, and it's got to be R.
What you want? Yeah. When I came on, I said that this has to be an R-rated film, and although they
Do we get that? Is it R?
we are R. We are hard.
No pushback.
Oh, I got pushback. But they also.
You know, we're up against Smallfoot and Nice School, so it's fair.
Yeah, but we really have to set ourselves
Everybody
apart.
wants to see Smallfoot.
Right. But yeah, I got a little pushback, but I felt, why make a slasher film? You know, Happy Death Day was a slasher film, but it was also more comedy and so forth than it was the slasher aspect, and that was PG-13. But like I said, the films I grew up on were R. I wanted this to be R. I wanted to have some fun with it. And you know what? R still works.
Did you have fun coming up with the creative kills for the movie?
It's so much fun. I wish we could have done more. That's the only thing I want.
And Tony, you know a thing about creative kills.
You know, it was weird. I loved, and I don't want to give anything away, but like, you go into this, and you know, I'm a pretty strange character. We had a wonderful costume designer from South Africa who created this look, which is a combination of Mick Jagger meets Chuck Berry somewhere in the desert of a horror pantheon. And but I, you know, all I do, I run the horror attraction, folks. I am not responsible for what you pay for your admission.
So he says.
If you wander around the corner to complain to one of my security staff, you know, and hopefully we'll be around next year, so we can do it again, and again, and again, and again.
I just want to hear Tony's voice. It's such a great classic voice, and just we did.
He had zooming cameras coming, zooming in at me like flying like little birds, capturing everything. It sounded like it was a blast. It was a total blast.
I want that face. I want that face.
Did you have this beautiful throne chair, and I immediately said to him, "Look, we need to use this chair." The next thing you know, you're carrying me out in this.
Next thing you know, we have 4 guys. I have to cast 4 guys on the
Three
spot.
of the biggest guys on set.
to carry Tony out, and just Tony loved every single second of
His heart of royalty.
It was amazing.
Great. Yeah, how about some questions from the audience? Or yeah, right in the front.
First of all, you have such a great voice. You didn't even have the mic up to your end. I can still hear you perfectly. But yes,
She's not talking about me.
for having such a successful career in horror, I wonder if there's, as an actor, what roles maybe you haven't yet tackled that maybe you would like to.
Maybe repeat the question. Could everybody hear the question? No. Okay, yeah.
You asked me what roles in horror that I would like to tackle.
No, outside of horror.
Outside of horror, oh, even better. You know, I'm a theater person. That's where I started. I have my master's in theater, so every year and a half, I return to the boards. It's where I love. I just got offered a play up in Rochester called The Magician's Daughter. It's a 2-character piece loosely based on Tempest, Prospero, but I don't think it's going to work out. But it's always lovely being asked. You know, I'm sort of segueing into producing now and hopefully directing. So I got this beautiful baseball project that I'm very close to me that I'm going to be passing on to people that I know and love. It's called Sakeo. So that's happening, and there's a bunch of stuff in the can. I don't want to bore you with listing it, but School is one, Hellfest is one. I don't know. What else is hot?
Tony is a phenomenal actor. I think we all can agree
Oh,
on
a bunch
that.
of games are coming out.
Yes. Big round of applause. I for one hope to see you in everything, not just horror. You should be everywhere.
We were talking before we came on about Satchel Paige and why there's never been a great film about him. And, you know, I've been looking at photos of him because he was pitching, well into his 50s. And I just did a one-man show about Jack Johnson, the first African-American heavyweight champion. I don't know if anybody saw the fight last night, but Lisa went 12 rounds. Yeah. OG.
Some more questions.
Live long, live horror, folks. I hope everybody had a good weekend at Monsterpalooza.
Person on the left, shout it out.
So you said it's going to be like a franchise. So how many movies were you thinking of making?
Wow.
Fran, the question is, do you want to?
The question was, if it's a franchise, how many do we hope to make?
Yeah.
As many as you all want to see. Again, we have the idea of the film is Tony's character, the Barker, runs these parks, and it's a character I want to explore. Again, I love these horror festivals, and I think there's so much to explore with it. I also have a whole catalog of kills that I'd like to accomplish. So hopefully I'll get the chance to do that and let our character and our other sort of evolve. But the fun thing is, I've seen every Halloween film. I've seen every Friday the 13th film. I've seen every Nightmare on Elm Street film. I've seen every Chucky film. I've seen all these films. I love them, and I keep going back to them. So hopefully this resonates with everyone here and with audiences abroad, and we can make a whole bunch. So I don't want to put a limit on it.
Did you do the edit on Hellfest as well?
I did. I cut it as
double duty.
Yes.
It shows that the filmmaker loves what he's doing.
Yes, I apologize to my family for not seeing them for about a year. But yeah, it was fun. It was beautiful to shoot it and to cut it, and again, great support system. And when you got great actors, it makes your life a lot easier.
Greg, you've been riding this wave of horror films in the last couple of years, this explosion in horror films. What do you owe the popularity to? And Tony, we've been doing this stuff since the 90s when you were lucky. If you had 3 or 4 horror films.
Yeah.
We were lucky you had
Congratulations on coming back.
That's Gregory. That's so exciting.
I mean, we were lucky you had 3 or 4 major horror films a year. Now every month you have 3 or 4 major horror films.
And on television.
Yeah, television.
On television.
So what do you guys owe this renaissance? I mean, this is a great time to be a horror fan and a horror film.
I think people have embraced it more. I kind of cut my teeth with in the Blumhouse world with Paranormal Activities and so forth, and fear. We all live with fear. We all grow up with our own fears from day one. You're afraid of what's under your bed. You're afraid of getting in trouble. You're afraid of what's in your closet. You're afraid of so many things. And the nice thing lately with this renaissance is there's been a lot of smart horror. There's been a lot of taking those fears and again, I'll use Get Out as an example. Is taking it to a social level and not just saying, again, this film is an homage, is a love letter to the slasher films I grew up on. But there's so many socially active horror films right now. So it's not just fitting into one box. There's been, obviously the Saw films were so well received, and then the Paranormal went for more of a, obviously the Paranormal bend. And there's just a broad spectrum of horror right now. But it's all capitalizing on the fact that we all have these fears, and it becomes a very cathartic experience to sit in the theater and release these fears and get over them.
And Tony, what are your thoughts, having ridden this wave for so long?
Well, I've been doing more television lately. We did Dead of Summer a couple of years ago for Freeform. I spent 17 hours a night up in the Vancouver woods, dealing with other teenagers, which was fun. But I just did a pilot actually for a horror reality show. We'd always be suited up from now on, because I'm going to be a horror host as we explore and go around the mysterious events that are occurring in America. We're really excited by it. Kinetic Content is the company that's doing it. So if that flies, that'll be another part-time job. But I did free series.
You have another question? Yes.
What's the name of that?
What's the name of that show?
It has something to do with my name.
That's all you need.
That's it. No, it's like a road trip thing. I mean, I just got a message from the producer today. They're very, I can't predict anything, but they're very high on it. And there's so many reality shows out there. There's so many ghost hunting shows. This will be completely unique. And we will investigate people that have had real life horror experiences. And I'll be sort of like a horror psychologist that tries to let them know it's okay. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. No, horror is okay, folks. It's okay to be scared. If you aren't scared of something, we wouldn't be here. So, horror movies present those little prisms up for you to see what's.
It's so great that for so many years it felt like horror was that stepchild that you want to keep in the back.
Well, they try to make it like that.
Right. But now it's such, the renaissance is great. I don't think it's going to go away.
No, it makes money for Hollywood, even though they don't want to admit it. It makes money, it puts money in their pocket, then produces films like Smallfoot.
We got time for 1 or 2 more questions. Hey, this lady has more questions than I do. Go ahead. No, you're good. Keep it up. Keep it going.
Gregory, so with the release of the Halloween and then your release of September, was there a plan of making sure that they overlap?
Yes. I think Halloween, and I'm going to be the first person in line. I think it's going to be a huge film. We wanted to make sure we had some time so that all the films would be appreciated. And again, as Tony said, there's a new great horror film, it seems like, coming out every single month. So we want to get out ahead of it. Obviously, the Horror Nights just started, so we want to sort of capitalize on that as well. But Halloween is such an iconic franchise, and from everything I hear, it's phenomenal. And
but there's still room for action figures for us, right?
of course. When you say that, you mean you. It's going to be a big action figure. It's a tall man. But yeah, we wanted to, and again, every month there's a film, and September is our month.
So where can folks learn more about the movies? Their Facebook page, social media?
We have Twitter, Facebook. We have, there's the CBS Films who's producing it, Lionsgate. They all have Twitter pages, Facebook pages, Instagram accounts. The film comes out.
What's your Twitter handle?
I am at Gregory Plotkin. Pretty original, right? And what is yours?
Same like yours, at Tony Todd.
There you go.
No disguising here.
All right, let's hear from Gregory. Here in the lobby in a few minutes, so go if you want to say hi again, please do. They'll be out there signing. 1 item per person. Go see Hellfest September 28th. We want to do another Hellfest 2 panel here next year, so make this movie a success. Again, let's hear it for Gregory and Tony.